ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the opening round of the FXR AOMX Championship in MX Bikes. Of course, this is a 12-round series put on by the fine folks at AOMX, and we streamed all of this series last year, and we're back to do it again for 2025. Of course, my name is Kellen Brower. It has been a hot minute since I've been up behind the microphone to call some action, and I am so thrilled to do it here tonight for the MX Bikes Championship that we are going to stream for you guys all 12 rounds. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to jump into our Discord here in just a minute and talk to Talon, who is going to help co-host the broadcast tonight. He is, of course, from the AOMX series, so he's going to let us know some behind the scenes and, of course, some cool things about the riders that will be racing here tonight as well. But start off, just let you guys know this is Unadilla. It is a two-moto format, one class, so no 250, 450 or anything like that, but we're going to have back-to-back motos. We're going straight into A-mains tonight as well, so pretty much just sit back and enjoy the show. Hopefully you guys will have a lot of fun with us here tonight. We'll watch some good action here on MX Bikes and talk to you guys about what is going on. So sit back and enjoy the show. We're going to jump up into the Discord right now. All right, now into the Discord and welcome the second member of our broadcast team. It is Talon. Talon, how's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good, feeling pretty in the swing of things for commentating wise. Having after you stepped away from Sim, having to do all that, which was pretty fun and exciting to commentate full time again, and ready to commentate some great racing on some bikes now.
Definitely ready to commentate some great racing on some bikes. This is your guys' kind of bread and butter. This is the series that you, Dizzle, and a few other people obviously put together. And this is going to be a fun 12-round championship. Just kind of talk about, the work that went on behind the scenes to get this all together this year, the partnership with FXR, and how excited you guys are about this series.
Yeah, me and Dizzle are very excited. He's the one that kind of got most of the, the sponsors together, like FXR, since he obviously raced pro and had them as a sponsor for pro in real life. So just having them backed and him being able to have those connections really helped out, and them being able to give out some prizes. And we're just ready to get a championship going once again. We do have a few changes, like payout wise, prices wise, and some race format wise, but we'll get to that all in a bit. But yeah, we're just all excited to finally starting up our championship again.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit. New prize pool offering this year. You guys have always had a pretty hefty prize pool that you guys give out, but what's into it this year? And like you said, FXR involvement with it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this year for the championship, we did kind of lower the amount put into it, but for a different reason. I'll get onto that in a second. But so first place now gets $200 instead of the $375 I think it was in previous years. But they do also get a set of podium FXR gear. And second place will get $125 and some FXR lifestyle package stuff. Third place will also get that lifestyle package from FXR, but they'll get $100 instead of $125. And then $50 for fourth and $25 for fifth. And the reason that is like a smaller amount, it's only 500 split between the top five, is because the rest of the other 500 is going to be paid per overall finishing. So first place per round in the overall get 25, second place in the overall get 15, and $10 for third place in the overall.
That is awesome, and cool of you guys to obviously always give out that prize pool and kind of incentivize guys to come by. It seems like we got a pretty stacked list here tonight. And then for those just tuning in, first time ever maybe watching the AOMX Championship, what's the format like? What do you guys do so that maybe people at home that are maybe going to show up rounds 2 and beyond know what to expect moving forward?
Yeah, so we tried, it's basically our format kind of stemmed from whenever we used to do the MESX games. It went from basically 4 mains, a D to C, B to A, kind of like dirt circle track racing. But whenever we got to bikes, with the way that server load-in time is, it kind of would have been too long. So we've kind of swapped to more kind of like how you see at the Pro Nationals, where there's a consi. So now we will take the top 30, immediately transfer into the A mains or the motos, if you want to call it, and then 36 down to, I believe, about 60th, I believe, somewhere around there, or 65th, is going to go into the LCQ or B main that we call it, and then it is a 4-lap race for 5 riders to get into those motos and have a chance at scoring some points and some money if you got a poor qualifying result.
And that would be obviously if we fill up those gates. Hopefully we will next week, but
Mhm.
right into A mains this week. What is the format for the A mains? I know I can see it, but I want you to explain it too.
Yeah, so format for A-mains is two 30-minute motos, top 35 riders. If, like tonight, you say we unfortunately didn't have enough people show up. So if we have less than 45 people show up, we're just going to take the top 35 in qualifying. And tonight we only have, I believe, 41 showed up, so just under that threshold, because we don't want like a 6, 7 rider LCQ for only 5 people getting in. So yeah, only top 35 are going straight through from qualifying, and we did have some fast hitters or fast riders tonight, and hopefully it'll be some good racing. Definitely a good top 10 battles between all of them.
Yeah, let's talk about those fast riders as you mentioned. Unfortunately, reigning champion Tyler J, aka TJ, is not here this evening. It sounds like he had an injury, real life injury, actually keep him out of this one, which is unfortunate. But we do still have a ton of fast dudes here. Cam goes fastest at a 2:03.2. We got Willie, Splash, Brad, Ashton, all up inside of the top 5. And we'll welcome the third member of our broadcast crew, the man that also puts this on behind the scenes for you all. Dizzle is here. Dizzle, what are you seeing from these guys in qualifying here tonight?
What I'm seeing is that I got some work to do because they are moving. Those times are crazy.
Where'd you end up? You are, I'm trying to see.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, why
I didn't
can't I
actually
not
look.
see you?
I
Oh,
was
you were
probably around
20th,
15th or something.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I gave myself the benefit of the doubt, and I immediately regret that decision.
Got some work to do. But yeah, Cam goes fastest. Willie only 6/10 back of him. Two guys in the 203s. Is this going to be the two-man show between these guys tonight, or are we seeing some other faces get up there and mix it up?
It's hard to see. One thing I would like to point out before we continue, Kellen, it's looking like the stream is being a little weird and not actually working on Twitch.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm trying to fix it as we talk behind the scenes, but I am not
Gotcha.
positive that it is going to do it.
Yeah. I think Twitch is having some issues. Whenever I was streaming earlier,
yeah,
I just ended the stream and restarting it, and it ended up working.
We are up on
Don't know if that's
YouTube
what
right
you
now,
have to
though,
do.
for those that want to
Oh, yeah, that is true.
continue to follow along on YouTube. Got a healthy amount of people over there watching right now. So I'm going to keep trying to work on the Twitch side. But if you do want to head over to YouTube, please feel free to do so. Start Your Systems TV on YouTube. Good to see everyone over there. But yeah, Cam, Willie, Splash, 3 favorites tonight?
Yeah, pretty much. Chase was a big favorite in our preseason. He won by, I think, 30 seconds, both motos. But he told us, on his best track, so he's kind of disappointed to see that get picked for preseason. But Cam, in the qualifying, actually, that lap is a world record, at least in servers. I don't know about in solo play time, but yeah, it's a pretty hefty group of heavy hitters. Ashton is leading your 250 NA points for motocross right now, as I think they're going into their final round. KSC, obviously another fast rider. Brad, Splash, like you said, all of them are all good riders. Pretty much all of the top 10, 15 riders all have a good chance of getting top 5s, maybe in some wins or podiums.
I mean, times are close, and the benefit that you guys have in this series is that all these guys have seen these tracks in the past, so they have a little bit more experience, maybe creates even a little bit better racing. But also unique to the series is that they don't know what track it is going to be every single week until an hour before the race and 30 minutes before qualifying. You guys roll a wheel, and we landed on Unadilla tonight. So, Dizzle, I'll talk to you about that. Why the decision to randomize it so no one knows what the track is? And then, obviously, we get Unadilla for round 1.
The last 2 seasons that we did, we had the tracks known ahead of time, and people were able to, put the time in and practice on tracks, and it made it pretty sweaty, So this being our last run, I think we just wanted to kind of switch it up, have a little bit of a different format and just kind of make it a little bit more interesting. I think with less time being able to grind the track, I think it'll make for some better battles. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see indeed. Let's get into the server. Looks like it is already up and running, and these guys are just kind of cruising around, checking things out.
Yeah, I just want to make sure real quick. Are you guys in the lobby all set? No issues?
Yes, I am. I'm just trying to make sure our game capture loads. There it is. I think that is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
As
I
long
am good
as
to go.
you guys are good, we're pretty much good to go.
Right on. This is going to be fun. 230 plus twos on the gate here at Unadilla. Can't wait to see what happens with these guys and who's going to come out with that all-important hole shot. Who's the hole shotter in this group? Do you guys have a favorite to jump off the gate first and get to turn number one with the lead?
Doug was pretty good in the preseason. He had 2 good starts there. But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because
As much as I hate to say it, Reed is very good at starts.
that too. He's good at starts and a pretty lucky rider when it comes down to starts as well. He's able to
Ooh, the
sneak
luck
in there.
factor. Yeah, the luck factor.
All right, real quick, I'm going to switch over and let you guys take over, and then we're going to get this rolling, all right?
All right, good luck, Dizzle. We'll see how you do. We already got some practice starts going on. Nathan out here putting his starts down going into turn number one. They're supposed to be off the track, though, aren't they, Talon? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I think starts should be fine. Obviously, I mean, we've always allowed certain starts depending on the people, but obviously the track, like we talked about towards our first season, just that the death ruts that form. But I'm guessing starts can be good, and it looks like we're ready to get first gate drop of the season down.
Yeah, Moto 1 lining up on the gate. So from far inside out, we'll tell you who is on the line here for round 1 of the AOMX Championship. We got Reed way down on the inside in front of Brad, Willie, one of our fast qualifiers, and there is Chase, as you guys mentioned, lined up 4th on the inside. Cam, our fastest qualifier, 5th from the inside. Ashton, KFC, Splash out here. We got Daryl, Brock, Caden, CM and Caden from SPX Performance out here. Rye Guy, Colin, LV, Doug. We got Cat. We got Dizzle. He's a little bit further outside. Even Slurp, Larson, Crab, Jinx, Coxie, Kobaha, Nathan, Gooey, DA425, AS, Slaxy, Zach, Morin way on the outside. And here we go, folks. Let's see who's going to get the all-important hole shot as we're about to turn that card sideways, rev them up, and go racing here to start off the AOMX Championship for 2025. Let's go racing here in MX Bikes. Gate is down, and it's a close one. Looks like a KTM getting out there. I saw Brock trying to get to the corner first. Who's going to come through? It is someone out of the middle. I don't know why my game is not picking up the leader, but there we go. Brock does get across the line first. The SPX Performance Machine has his teammate Splash right behind him as they come through turn 1 and 2. And now the switchbacks here at Unadilla. Let's see who gets through them clean. Looks like Brock's got him pretty good out front, and he's going to lead us into Gravity Cavity, Talon.
Yeah, Brock, he got some great starts in our preseason. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish all the motos as he was sick, but he was up front early and leading most of the motos there. So it's not really a surprise for anybody that watched the preseason. But he does have Splash, who is a very fast rider, and Daryl, who actually qualified first here in Aerial, coming along in P3 right behind those two.
Yeah, Daryl getting a good start. Could be trouble for the rest of the field, as you mentioned, that fast qualifying in the ARL Championship a few weeks ago. But Brock just holding his teammate Splash behind. Splash a little bit of a tailspin coming off of that tabletop as they work their way up to the tallest section of this racetrack, all the way in the back. It's a whoop section now up the hill this year. These guys doubling and hopping their way all the way to the top. Brock still leading Splash right there in second, and then you'll see the rest of the field come down. Ashton looks like he's moved into third. Brad and Daryl actually going at it side by side for fourth. Daryl gets it back, but Daryl losing a little bit of track position here on lap number 1 could be costly, and he goes into the blocks on the side of the track right there and all the way back to 5th already.
Yeah, those replacements for the sponge job always catching people out, especially last year in almost every game there is sim bikes, no matter what it is. You always find somebody hitting them and losing some positions, but Daryl getting past early. Ashton actually making moves on those little whoops up the hill there. Said he was kind of bad at them, but really looking to, gain some pace up the hill early and try to catch these leaders of Brock and Splash as they're starting to battle.
Yeah, it looks like leaders starting to get into it a little bit as you see Splash now on the rear fender of Brock. We'll go to the TV cams here in just a minute, but love a little bit of drone cam to start things off so you guys get a perspective of where everybody is around the racetrack. But as we complete the first full lap onto the mechanics area, it is still Brock by a nose. Splash is right on his hip, though, as we go into the first turn complex again. Where do you think Splash could set up a pass here?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had much experience of this track, but the switchbacks maybe, but a lot of them are funneling to this inside line instead of for the
Oh!
outside, and Brock goes down over the bars on the outside, so Splash going to take the lead coming to the finish line.
And Ashton crashed in the exact same way out of third place, and Brock almost got hit by Ashton's bike. That moves Brad into second. And, of course, your new leader, Splash, the FXR SPX Performance.com backed Yamaha, out front and leading this thing here on lap number 2. It is a 30-minute plus 2-lap race, though, so plenty of time as Brad and Brock now go at it, trying to battle it out for second place. Ashton third, Daryl all the way back in fifth, I should say, and he's also actually just got passed by Willie. So Willie on the SPX Performance program moves up inside of the top 5. We have got SPX all up inside of the top 6. They're getting off the gate well here this evening, and Willie on the charge right now a little bit.
Yeah, Splash has those boys sorted out with the suspensions that he created for that team. And a big guy, I mean, it shows he has the suspension to get the start, and it looks like it's also helping him pull away and stay stable in these rough conditions of the track on the braking bumps and through all these ruts. And Willie, he got some wins last year, mostly in the sand rounds, but looking to improve himself in more of the dry conditions, especially here at Unadilla round 1, trying to set himself up good for that championship fight.
I don't know why my TV cameras are not working, so apologies for that. We'll just go back to the trusty free cam and catch up with our leaders, though. As you mentioned, Splash still leading this thing. Battle for second, definitely on, though. Brock, after that mistake, does not look like he wants Brad to get away as they go down Screw You. Brad in that second position and still fairly close, 4, 5, and 6 behind them, hanging tough. So this is actually a pretty crucial battle at this stage of the race to not let Splash get away, and it seems like Brock maybe has a little bit more pace in hand as he tails down Brad for second.
Yeah, it also might be that KTM. He's one of the only ones on the KTM OEM up here in the top 7, it looks like. And from what I heard, unless they've changed things recently, the KTM was faster, just a little bit more sketchy as you see Brad make a mistake along with Brack, but they're both able to save it there. But yeah, that KTM definitely has a lot of pace, but a lot of sketchiness coming along with it.
I mean, the bumps on this track are absolutely massive. They're only going to get a little bit bigger as this race goes on and the track wears in. And you bounce right there after the finish line. Brad gets kicked to the outside and Brock goes down. He went over the outside rut, pushing, trying to get up alongside Brad, I should say. And Brock goes back to 4th. So this is now 3, 4, and 5 on the track. Ashton, Brock, and Willie nose to tail as they go through that tree section coming out of the mini gravity cavity. And upper hand right now seems to be these Yamaha riders. That KTM, as you mentioned, for Brock, not really doing him favors, and he goes down again, and he takes Willie with him. And then Daryl gets into the back of him and goes down as well. So there is another crash for Brock that takes a few guys with him. He only loses 1 position, so not too detrimental in terms of the position change, but he is losing a lot of spots quickly thanks to these crashes.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not working out for him. He might be trying to push the issue after losing that lead early, trying to gain up 2 positions too quickly, getting a little flustered, and it's costing him big time here. Even taking down some of his teammates on that SPX Performance bikes. But, you know, Daryl, he's still up here strong. Obviously got caught in some collisions there, but he might be trying to make a move around Brock quickly, seeing how kind of sporadic he is on that bike, going down a bunch of times. We got some more people behind. We got Colin from MX Locker behind him, and then we got a little bit of a battle between Nathan and CM behind him. We can see more KTM boys coming up, and we finally get our first look at Chase right behind Nathan, your preseason winner and one of the favorites to win this championship. Kind of has some bad starts in preseason, and it's looking to follow him here into round 1.
Yeah, tough start for Chase. And also, where is our fastest qualifier, Cam? I have not seen him in our top 20 at all, so tough start for him. I don't know, maybe had a DNF or something come up already, but yeah, Chase outside of the order a little bit here, Cam down the order. Guys struggling early on.
Yeah, Cam, scrolling down the leaderboard, I see him down in 25th place right now. We'll see whenever it updates. I'm going to go look for him with my camera. But he is very much buried. The start's definitely not helping him here. But it is just painful to have such raw pace and unfortunately have bad starts. It can happen with a bunch of people here in MX bikes, especially with how chaotic those starts can begin to happen. But Splash, you know, he's holding on strong in the lead, and he's really looking to check out on these guys, but he hasn't been able to pull much more of a gap over Brad.
Yeah, Brad is keeping him honest, that is for sure. It's not close enough to attempt to pass or anything along those lines, 6.5 seconds as it currently runs, but even just putting that pressure on, Splash has not been able to get too comfortable yet out in the race lead. And if Brad can keep it close, just one mistake out of our race leader is all it's going to take, and we might have a battle on for the race lead. Splash jumping down the hill on the gas. And I'll lean on you for a little bit of word of advice on this. How is Unadilla for consistency? Like, what were we seeing in the ARL race out of guys throughout the Moto? Was it, really hard to stay consistent on this track with how rough it is?
I think it kind of really depends on your setup. Obviously, Splash making his own setups probably helps him be able to adjust on the fly, each per track. But a lot of people have been saying this track is kind of a highway in terms of just you're on the gas almost all the time, even through the ruts, and that's what kind of make it kind of difficult and really inconsistent for some of these guys. As you saw in Brock, he's just trying to push it, and unfortunately, just the bike cannot hold under him at the pace that these guys are going. I think that can be the problem for most guys. But Splash, if he could just kind of cruise here and not really force the issue, since he knows he has a gap, that could help him pull the gap even bigger on Brad, that it looks like he is starting to, pull away on the rest of the field as well.
Yeah, and also from what I'm picking up from you is it sounds like just being able to get into the flow state a little bit and not maybe even worry about lap times or anything along that, but just connecting the track together could be critical here with how high speed it is. And you can see Splash hopping through a lot of the ruts here just to try to find the smooth lines around this track. Brad's still in second. And Ashton kind of looks like he might be reeling Brad in a little bit, as Brad now 8 seconds back. Ashton's kept it at about 11 seconds, so this could turn into a battle for second before long with the pace that we're seeing out of Ashton here in P3.
Yeah, it is a little bit, he has had a ton of speed in the 250 class. Didn't know how he would fare in 450s. I know he said for next year he's definitely going to be moving up. But, I mean, he's shown he has pace, and I think if you're fast on a 250, you could be fast on a 450. You just has to get off that throttle just a tiny bit more compared to the 250. And obviously, you're not shifting as much. It's more lugging the bike around. But, I mean, SPX, Splash, really getting the setups kitted for these guys. But Brad, he's holding on strong, maybe even taking that gap out just a little bit here in the section that I think Ashton was saying is a little bit slower than everyone at.
Do you think all these SPX guys are running the identical setup to each other? Or you think they're even maybe doing a little bit of fine tuning to each other's riding styles a little bit?
I think it really depends, because I unfortunately have not been able to work with Splash, having obviously not played the game much since last year. But the company that I was running, or the suspension that I was running all of this year and last year a little bit, he would make one setup, and if we asked for something, he would kind of like tell us tweaks on what to do. And I got to a point where I would just start messing with it each tiny bit if I felt a little bit uncomfortable. But I don't know how confident these guys are, if they don't want to mess up a setup, or if they feel like they need to change anything, or just trying to run it to the ground and hope that it works out.
Yeah, that is totally a fair assessment of it. And these SPX guys, man, they are looking very froggy out front. Even Willie starting to tighten the gap up now on Ashton. We'll wait and see. Our next rider, Daryl, coming through back in P5. Now, only 10 minutes into this moto, still a lot of time left to play, but any surprises so far, Talon? Are you surprised that our fast guy, Daryl, maybe isn't putting the burners down and getting up to these guys, or that Splash is as consistent as he is? Like, what's stepping out to you so far in this race?
For me, it would kind of be Brad. Obviously, I haven't watched him much for the aerial races, so I don't know how he'd be doing in there. But during our preseason race, it was kind of all out, or crash is what he was kind of going for. And he might have backed that down just a tiny bit, which is helping him here. But he might be really the only surprise that I see. Maybe Colin. I also have not watched him much, but seeing him up here in 6, but also Chase. He's already up past Brock into P6 now. He actually just got past Colin. It looks like it's off of cuts, though. But Chase coming from almost dead last. He's also all the way up to 6 right now.
Yeah, that is a good run through the field. And also on our leaderboard, finally see our fastest qualifier, Cam, up into 18th as Daryl lays it down in 5th. Little crash after this back tabletop. Not going to lose a position, but that time definitely going up and up and up as Splash continues to just inch away out front. And so far, making a bit of a boring race for us. Let's go back in the field. We got a battle going on here. Colin just went down in front of Chase. And as you said, on corrected time, Chase, I think, was slightly ahead of Colin, but now has 6th place all to himself. He is on the move, and Daryl just a few seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, and it's actually Brock is ahead of him on track as well, but all those crashes must have given him a ton of cuts. So unfortunately, he is behind Chase. So Chase in that P6, like I said, trying to catch up to Daryl. Based off of cuts, it's showing he's only 2 seconds behind Daryl on track. So Daryl might have a lot more cuts than we may think, and Chase might have none.
Chase is riding the clean race so far, even though he's had to come through the field not with a good start in this one, having to make a lot of passes. And even so, staying on the track, very critical in MX Bikes. If you're new to MX Bikes, you don't know what that is. Maybe you're familiar with MX Simulator and you understand the cut system or the penalty system that's applied post-race. Well, that actually happens real time in MX Bikes. As you go by each lap, it'll give you 1 second, 5 seconds, these little time penalties for cutting the racetrack, and it adds up in a hurry. I mean, there's a handful of guys we'll see at the end of motos with 30 plus seconds sometimes. So don't want to be off the track too much because it could really hinder your overall race result.
Yeah, and sometimes, obviously all the track creators are human, so they might mess up on a placement here and there. I know a couple tracks last year when I was racing, if you just went a little bit too far on the outside line or inside line, you would still get a cut even if you were on track. But you see Brock, Chase went down, so Brock was able to get by him on track now, so he'll have even more clean air. And I think that is Daryl up ahead of him, who he might have just got off of cuts as well.
Yeah, Daryl just ahead on the track, like you said, but with corrected time. Still has Chase running in the 5 spot. And I did notice the gaps all kind of went down slightly up towards the leader. So I think Splash may have had a crash somewhere. Speaking of crashes, looks like Daryl just laid it down, and now Chase is trying to get around him on the racetrack, going long way around the outside, side by side coming down through this section. Can Chase get the on-track pass done? He's down the inside. He's got that inside rut hooked. Daryl's trying to drag race him up the hill. He might get him back. Inside move, and Brock is going with him. Chase is getting double teamed at the top of the hill. Who's going to get there first? Looks like Chase to the inside was able to get the pass done officially on Brock, but still Daryl on that Yamaha is keeping him at bay. He jumps off the track, gets back on. Chase going to work, though, trying to get around these guys.
Yeah, Chase, as we noticed, we saw he's come all the way through the pack, so he definitely knows where to pass these people. Don't know if he'll try to force anything here, as he knows he has them on cuts. But we will wait and see. He is the fastest guy on track, one of the fastest. And, we'll see if he wants to get a move on or if he's thinking championship long term and not trying to force anything and just hold on and know it's only Moto 1 of the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, even from the standpoint of how many riders are still pretty close behind him here, if he does make that crucial mistake and goes down, you never know. Is up the inside. Brock puts the block pass on. I don't know how neither rider actually fell off the bike. Brock has to go all the way back to the bottom and get going. Now he's just over the top of the hill, and then he clips the barrier at the top and goes over the bars. Tough break for Brock, and somehow Chase didn't go down either as he got kind of teed up on the inside. Does lose some time, but a nice save for Chase to keep it going.
Yeah, you hate to see it. It was on one of the worst spots to have a little mistake or crash happen. Luckily, Chase was able to keep some momentum going to clear the top of the hill very quickly. But he did lose some time to Dario, and that's going to cost him some time and even a chance of catching up to Willie up ahead of him or Ashton, as it looks like they're battling for P3 right up ahead of these guys.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and work our way back towards our lead group here. Who we got coming over this tabletop? That is Brad, Ashton, and Willie, all nose to tails. So something happened to Brad too. Maybe these guys just have a little bit more penalties, but actually, just as we thought Ashton and Willie were going at it, Ashton's going after Brad for second place right now, and he wants a piece of him.
Yeah, he's looking for that passer on the outside, see if he can get a slingshot down the hill. They're going side by side over this little double, both sending it. Ashton is the inside, but he'll back out, let Brett have it, not try to force anything with still half of the race to go here, and might just have to sit back and watch out. But if he gets too comfortable, Willie is closing in, so he might try to send a move down the inside of him.
Yeah, and you see Ashton really pushing the envelope because he doesn't want Willie to get there, and Willie is now there, side by side onto the sky shot. Doolies. Ashton goes for a ride, able to save it. Does he get the pass done around the outside? Willie does, as he goes for the Jet Lawrence line, hopping over the top of the hill and gets it done to move into third place. So Ashton trying to fight back, down screw you, looking up the inside, backs out of the challenge, and Willie's got third all to himself. Crazy action here for the second position.
Yeah, Ashton made a small mistake on the downhill. I was waiting to see if he would try to pull a move like Brock did and try to take the inside, but he played it smart, made a small mistake, and had to back out, and luckily didn't lose too much time. And now they are losing touch to Brad as he's starting to pull away. And Ashton might have a drive on Willie down the inside. It's looking into turn 1, and he's going to take it away going to the hole shot, but actually misses the outside right. Willie's going to get the pass back, and they're back to their original positions of 3 and 4 for Willie and Ashton.
Seems to be a battle of the lesser mistakes is what will win in this, as a little mistake for each rider has really cost both of them a chance to run for second place in this race. Brad has gotten away now to the tune of about 2.5 seconds when they were literally nose to tail, perhaps battling for that position. Willie has the advance now in third, but Ashton is still going for it, and it seems like any little mistake could be costly for these guys in their fight for the podium positions.
Yeah, these two teammates battling hard for third, but as you see on the leaderboard Splash, it was 8 seconds whenever these guys caught up to Brad, and now with all these guys battling, he's able to pull it away and give himself some more breathing room out front. So his teammates trying to move up position actually ended up helping him out front, but Ashton is starting to lose touch to Willie as Willie's trying to set his sights back on Brad up ahead of him.
Yeah, if you're Splash, you're maybe just taking a peek at that gap and seeing if it's opening back up. I'm sure he had a mistake. And speaking of mistakes, Brad down out of second, going to lose both positions. Willie goes up to second, Ashton to third. It was at the top of that hill. Those guys trying to get to those middle ruts after doubling to the top, and I think Brad maybe just missed one, high-centered, and lost position. He's not done yet, though. Back down the inside, gets into the side of Ashton, moving back into third place, and he's back in the position again.
Yeah, Brad fighting hard to hold on to that third place, trying to spoil SPX to get that podium lockout there of 1, 2, and 3. But now he has to worry about Ashton putting on a charge, maybe even diving down the inside as he goes off track gets a little 50-50 on that outside rut. Ashton looking down the inside, down screw you. Let's see if he goes for it. Nope, he'll back out, go around the outside and follow him. See if he get a slingshot either back on the start like he tried to with Willie, or if we'll have something happen before that turn.
We'll see who's going to get the advance on this one as well. Brad trying to go back after Willie. Ashton trying to get both of them. And now Willie's going to have to play a little bit of defense here. Or is Willie now just looking ahead? I mean, the gap is there where he doesn't have to look behind him. He might just be thinking forward, which is obviously the best strategy here to try to go get the race leader. Splash might be a little bit too far gone at this point. But if you're Willie, don't want to have to think about that pressure behind you.
Yeah, it's so hard as a racer, especially in this game with having the look back button compared to Sim where you don't. It's so hard to not look back there and not worry about the rider behind you who you know is almost equal pace with you and could send a dive down the inside at any moment. But he just has to look ahead and not worry about Brad behind him and hope that Ashton can battle him and get past him, so then he has a teammate behind him and not have to worry about someone sending it down his inside and possibly taking both him and both of them out.
But I will tell you, these guys are having a torrential battle for this second position, though. It seems like a bit of a hot potato situation. As soon as someone gets it, the other riders start riding even a little bit better. Willie was the one that was the aggressor, and as soon as Brad tossed it away, Brad is back on form again, going after Willie for this second position. He's back to that inside rut. It hasn't scared him away yet, and now Willie goes for a ride down the hill, almost crashes. Here's Brad jumping over top of him. He's going to get the spot back into P2.
Yeah, that one mistake cost him 2 positions, but just being patient after getting back past Ashton, he's able to retake that P2 position. We'll see if he sets his sights forward. As you see, Willie missed that rut right behind him, so it gives him some breathing room. See if he wants to go after Splash or try to settle in, find a calm pace, and just try to pull away and set in some good, nice, clean laps here.
And as we pull out again a little bit, you can see Ashton is still right there in the background, not letting these guys get away. This is incredible action. Willie off the track a little bit at the bottom of Screw You. And now Ashton, again, seems to be the aggressor. And as I say that, a mistake off the track going up Screw You. And finally, just a little bit of breathing room between each of these guys as they settle into the fight. Let's go ahead and peek back out at our leader up here, Splash, as he goes through the whole shot line, just to give you guys a frame of reference how far out he is. And another thing, Talon, he's running into some lap traffic now. It's not a lot yet, but there will be a little bit more coming soon, and the lead is probably not as out as he would like it to be for having to work through lap traffic.
Yeah, it's not as big as he probably would have wanted. Luckily, Gooey and Dizzle look like the first two that he is going to lap, and luckily I know that they're both very good lappers and, like to claim that title as one of the best lappers out there of pulling over and not getting away too much. So Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about them. But yeah, there is a big pack up ahead of him. Well, not too big, only a couple riders, but you never know what could happen with lappers. They could make one small mistake and just end up taking you with them. And the way this game can be with netcode, it can send you flying just from one little tap. Oh, as he makes a small mistake out front, able to corral it together there, but he still does have that 11-second gap to Brad behind him. And he must be looking at that clock, just hoping for it to go down. I know when I'm in a good position looking at that clock, it just seems to take forever to count down till the end. But he is hoping it'll go by quickly and these next 7 minutes can pass by as he Dizzle down up ahead of him.
Yep,
So we'll see if he could get by him quickly.
Dizzle just getting back on the track ahead of him. And as you mentioned, it's not too big of a group yet. That's really where the problems would come, is if he runs into a group of lappers. Dizzle does the job nicely there, swings out wide, lets Splash go by, and continue on in the race lead. Gone down just a little bit from that mistake. 10.4 seconds back to Brad, who's back on it. And now Splash is down on the uphill. Awkward positioning here. Has to get it off the track and going again. That is going to cost him a lot of time. How much will it cost him? Well, here comes Willie on track, even though it is not for position because of his penalties just yet. That is how close it is. So Willie suddenly within a shot here, and Splash has not got this thing going away.
Yeah, the other two are right there with Willie, just a little bit farther back. It looks like Ashton has quite a bit of cuts behind him. I'm looking at live time right now. Splash has 3 seconds of cuts. Willie has 5, and then it's 6 for Brad and 12 for Ashton. So luckily for Splash, he doesn't have the most amount of cuts in this group, but he can't afford another mistake like that up the hill, especially with only 5 minutes left and not a lot of time to make a pass if he gets past for that lead.
Yeah, and the lappers are still there. Obviously, Dizzle, who did let him go, goes back by, but there's a little bit of a group kind of conflagrating up ahead. 2 guys going
and down he goes again.
Oh, he's down in Gravity Cavity. Very awkward spot, but these guys were not there to take it just yet. Or did Willie go by? Did I miss it?
Willie went by. Yeah, Willie was able to get by, and now he has a decent gap of 3 seconds ahead of Splash. Splash did get some cuts from that crash, though, so now he has the same amount of cuts as Willie. So wherever they are on track is where they are in the actual timing. So Splash has to go and pass Willie unless Willie gets some more cuts by the end of this.
Wow, and we thought this thing might be Splash's for the taking, and suddenly it is opened up for the taking again. Willie to the lead. There is Splash in second. Brad now can see Splash just ahead of him, and then Ashton coming through in the 4 spot. Thanks to some penalties, it is not exactly that close, thanks to Ashton's what does he have, like 8 or 9 seconds of penalties there? So
it looks like it's up to 14, so he has
14.
9 more seconds than Splash.
Brutal. Yeah, so Ashton really needs some help to get back into the running. A couple lappers coming back from off track right there as Willie shoots by into the lead. He is off and running now with this thing, and since those penalties have gone even, it is pretty much a square race like you said. So I think Willie just going to try to stay on the track and go win this thing based on his speed, but we've already seen a couple times where he gets in this position and starts making mistakes. Can he hold on for 4 more minutes?
Yeah, I'm watching Splash riding. It seems kind of frantic. He's missing a couple ruts. Oh, almost goes down again at the same spot last lap up the hill. But every now and then I'll see him try to shoot for an inside rut and he'll miss it and have to go to the more outside one. It's costing him time. And now Brad is right behind him trying to make a pass for P2. On Splash, he has to run.
Scrubs that table at the top. And these guys are all trying to find different lines. Meanwhile, we got 2 guys that are a lap down battling in front. Looks like Zach was one of them. He goes down. Brad up alongside Splash for second place. Who's going to get the drive down the straightaway past the mechanics area? Gosh, it was about dead even. And Splash shuts the door, pushes Brad off the track a little bit as well. And he'll have to settle back in, but not too settled because Ashton is right there trying to get into 3rd place. Man, any of these guys could win the moto, but they're also just trying to stay on the podium.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Dizzle. He just went down again, but trying to... Oh, and Brad goes down, flipping down in a gravity cavity, so Ashton is going to get by. Don't know if it's going to give him based on cuts. Looks like there's some more lappers up ahead. These guys are getting by, but I don't think Ashton got Brad off of cuts there, and I think, nope, there's just some lappers in between them, but now it's all starting to spread out here, and Willie looking to just take the win here. He's got a 5-second gap over Splash now, and now he might be able to just cruise if he could get around multiple lappers that are still left for him.
Yeah, that lapper group could still be a bit problematic, especially if they start battling with each other. That is Nathan and DA425 just up the hill in front of Willie. They're battling each other just outside of the points. So actually DA is in the points. So this is for the final points paying position. And Willie's just begging them to get out of the way, but they're just trying to get some dang points. Nathan, very nicely done, allows Willie to go by. Now, will DA do the same as he is trying to get into that P20 position? Actually gets a freebie spot because Slaxy's going down the order. Who's going to get out of the way first? Looks like DA's holding line. Willie trying to get by him as they go off the sky
shot. Put his hand up. So he might be, there he goes.
Put the hand up and swung wide, lets him go by, and able to hold a pretty steady gap over the guys behind him. In fact, where did they go? Morin was the next guy through, so totally lost Nathan there for a minute. But Willie's got some clean track. Splash just trying to get back up there and do anything about this race win. He's got to be kicking himself because he had this thing 5 minutes ago. He was 11 seconds out in front, and now he's 4 seconds behind. How quickly things can change when you're on the top of your game in MX bikes.
Yeah, I saw Willie also on that same uphill that Splash almost went down a second lap in a row. Willie was kind of getting a little squirrely there because those ruts make it to where it's kind of off camber up that hill, and they're all on that back tire trying to get as much power to the ground. And just having that thing just be a little squirrely on the can cost you big time in bikes. Ooh. And down goes Splash again over the bars into the split lane, and Ashton is going to get by. I don't know if it's going to count with cuts, but through he goes into P2 on track, but I don't know about in the timing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it changed all that much. Splash still 4 seconds back of Willie. 7 now, and then Ashton 15 seconds back with the penalties adjusted. So, yeah, bit of a struggle there for Ashton. Being off the track too much is really costing him this race. Splash doesn't look like he cares about the fact that he's got Ashton on cuts. He kind of looks like he wants to go back after him for second. Ashton, a little bit of a mistake trying to get around DA. And look at Splash up the inside, pulls even as they come down off of this tabletop. What a pass by Splash. If he can hold it around the outside, Ashton doesn't look like he wants to let him go, but he will allow his team leader to get on by there on the SPX Performance Yamaha. Up the hill into P2 once again. Splash takes it over.
Oh, and they're both going off the track. Ooh. Ashton down the inside forces him out of the way a little bit. Might have been a little bit of net code, might not have seen him, but Splash immediately loses that position after he gains it. And, you know, you were talking about how he did look a little urgent. It could be that he doesn't have a leaderboard as the lapper almost gets into him there. But some of these guys I know don't run leaderboards just so they're not constantly checking at it or looking at the time, and they just go to race and try to pass as much people on track. Don't know if Splash races with that or not, but that could be why he's being urgent. He doesn't know that he has them on cuts right now.
That, or he doesn't know how much time is left, and so he's just trying to race as hard as possible and hope he still has a shot at maybe even getting to Willie for the win. But Willie's already out of Screw You as Splash enters. See, Brad is just a little bit behind these guys, hoping for a late mistake and trying to get onto the box. Some lappers getting stuck on Screw You.
Yeah.
Brock W coming in here saying he pulled a whole shot by a mile. Don't remember seeing that, but you know.
I know he had the whole shot, but maybe half a bike length at most.
Yeah. White Grant asking if he should go to bikes. I mean, listen, you know, Sim is still good. Bikes is good. I think we're all just hoping that MTG pulls us together. Splash dropping down into gravity cavity. It is really opened up here in these last few laps. Ashton off the track just in front of him. Again, not for a legitimate second place at the moment, just because Ashton has so many penalties added to his total race time. So Splash, I wonder if you're Splash here, you're almost annoyed that Ashton is in front of you because you'd rather the clear track to try to go get Willie, but you'd have to get around Ashton to do that in the first place.
Yeah, it can be kind of frustrating here and there. Obviously, everyone's going to fight for their position no matter what, but you know, whenever I was behind people, it was very frustrating trying to get by them because if you are faster than them, most of the time there is one line that is quick around the track, and the rest of them it's kind of hard to make a pass. And you see Splash still kind of keep in touch, but also losing a little bit on Ashton there, but. You know, it just makes you that a little bit more frustrated, and most of the time for most people when riding mad, it just causes more and more mistakes as you go along in a race.
I will say one thing is that Willie has not fully gotten away with this thing yet. There he is going by to the sky shot. There is Ashton on corrected time in third, and there is Splash. And I think Splash and Willie are pretty close on penalties, are they not? So this could still be a straight up race if Willie has a late mistake.
Looks like Splash has 2 more seconds of cuts now, trying to charge past Ashton. And actually, Brad is kind of closing in to Splash. So he's gotten past, looks like Ashton on cuts. So he's up into P3, and Ashton might be forced off the podium here just based off of his cuts.
Yeah, Ashton's probably kicking himself at all these cuts because now he's looking at borderline the back of the race leader, and he might not even be on the podium once all is said and done. White flag coming out next time by, and I guess if you're Ashton, just keep charging. Hope you can maybe even pass for the lead, even though it won't be for the official lead, and still get on the box. And now Willie's trying to put it in cruise control. He knows the white flag is coming. He knows he has a 10-second lead, but he also knows just how quickly it went away when Splash had it only 7 to 8 minutes ago. So Willie takes the white flag out front. 1 lap to go here at Unadilla for Moto 1 of the FXR AOMX Championship. And the SPX Performance Yamaha Willie is off and running with this thing, trying to wrap up Moto number 1 of this championship.
Yeah, he's being strong and consistent. I can't remember ever seeing him have too many mistakes other than those first 5 minutes trying to get around some people. So just being smooth and consistent helped him get to the lead, and he's starting to pull away from these guys. As Brad is trying to make some moves on Splash here to give himself an even better chance of beating Ashton off the cuts. But he is really pushing Splash here to maybe try to go out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, and they are pretty close in penalties. I know Brad has a little bit more, but Splash is certainly having to play some defense here. And where these guys are going to end up is so interesting because Ashton's still in front of him, but he just went down, jumps out of the way to allow Splash to go by, and then gets back on before Brad. And now Ashton's really kind of screwed himself. I don't think he's going to end up on the podium at this stage of it unless something dramatic happens. He pulls up alongside Splash again, going up the uphill. Doolies on the step up. Lap traffic getting out of the way. 1 more time down to the sky shot. Ashton back into P2 on the track. Not for the position, though, again, thanks to penalties. And Splash is just like, get out of the way at this point, man. I want to try to hold off Brad behind me, but Brad is still right there. And off the track, Ashton goes again.
Yeah, all Ashton has to go for is a mistake from Brad, but like I said, he also might not be playing to know his cuts, and we'll see. He's looking down the inside of Splash. Does he get the run? He does not. Oh, it gets a little squirrely. He's unable to hold on, and that allows Brad by on track as well. So that does not change much, and Splash just has to bring it on home. He has a couple seconds based on cuts ahead of Brad. It is only 3 seconds, but he's only got a couple more turns here that he has to hold on.
Yeah, Splash just trying to lean off the back of the bike and hope he can get there. Meanwhile, into the final corner coming up, it is going to be the first moto win of the AOMX Championship, and it's going to go to Willie of SPX Performance. Your Moto 1 winner here at Unadilla is Willie. Second place on the line. Looks like Splash and Brad still going at it. Splash cuts across and takes it by a nose. Brad ends up third. Ashton will cross in fourth behind them. And then we have a long wait for P5 in this race. Chase did get all the way up to 5th place, but it is probably going to be very frustrating for him that he was not more in the mix throughout this one.
Yeah, he's probably kicking himself on that start. I think he said in the preseason interviews that he really wanted to get better at the starts, have a better chance. We'll see if he can in Moto 2, because that's where it was better for him in the preseason. Moto 1, he had a horrible start like this one and came through the pack. In Moto 2, he had a great start, a top 5 one, and we'll see if he could replicate that here at round 1.
Yep, looks like Chase ends up 5th. Daryl 6th, still waiting on Reed. Across the line, looks like Rye Guy maybe got him on the last lap, and Cam gets all the way up into 8th. We'll see if penalties correct that. Yes, Reed does end up 7th, so Rye Guy and Cam had some penalties there, and then CM should be dropping down into Gravity Cavity. Does he complete our top 10? Actually, he even gets Cam as well on penalties, so Cam really not doing good there with the penalties. Amazing to get back to 10th, though, from outside the top 22 for a very long time. Gooey coming across the line. He's outside of the points. Who else we still got? We got Colin from MX Locker dropping down in 11th. Looks like he'll finish up in that spot. Then a long gap back to Coxie, Cat, and LV. The 3 riders still on the lead lap. A lot of guys ended up a lap down. Pretty much over half the field a lap down in this race is crazy.
That just goes to show the level of pace we have here tonight, from especially those top 15 not getting lapped. So you have a little bit of a battle, looks like, between Cat and LV.
Yeah, who's going to drag race each other? Cat looks like he gets LV by a nose, and LV had a lot of penalties anyway, so it does not matter. All right, that is Moto 1 in the books, and we're going to have like a little 5-minute intermission here anyway, right, Talon?
Yeah, a little 5-minute intermission, give everybody's fingers a little bit of a break after those 30 minutes.
All right, well, what I'm going to do, because I know that the Twitch stream is still down, I am going to restart the stream. So if you're with us on YouTube, I think we're coming back on the exact same spot. If it doesn't, I will try to head over a link for you guys to jump to. But we'll be back in just a moment. And